Reading Comprehension for Kids. Do you ever find yourself getting sidetracked while you're reading? Like it's hard to stay focused. After a story's over, do you ever wonder, what did I just read? The good news is you're not alone. That happens to a lot of kids and even adults too. Understanding what you read is called reading comprehension. Did you know that there are skills that can help you understand what you read? In this video, you'll learn some of those skills. Let's begin by reading this sentence together. The happy dog ran after the cat, who was chasing a bird. Now, try to comprehend or understand what's happening in this sentence by answering a few questions about it. How does the dog feel? What is the dog doing? What is the cat doing? Now let's take a look at our sentence again and see if we can answer those questions. The happy dog ran after the cat, who was chasing the bird. So, how does the dog feel? Let's look back at our sentence. Does it just say the word dog? Or does it use a word to describe the dog in the sentence? It uses a word to describe the dog, doesn't it? It says, the happy dog. So how does the dog feel? You're right, happy. The next question says, what is the dog doing? Let's look back at the sentence. It says the happy dog ran after the cat. So, what is the dog doing? Well, he's doing what a lot of dogs like to do. He's running after the cat. Our last question asks, what is the cat doing? Look back at the sentence and see if you can answer that question on your own. The cat is chasing the bird, right? Great job! When you're able to answer questions about what you read, you're understanding or comprehending what you're reading. Reading comprehension skills are very important. Think of the game of basketball. There are individual skills needed to be able to play that game. Some of those skills include shooting, dribbling, and passing. All those skills are important and necessary to play the game of basketball. However, each skill must be joined together to play the game successfully. And just like in a game of basketball, there are many different skills that can help you with reading comprehension. These skills can help you learn the correct pronunciation of words, as well as what they mean. Instead of just reading words, these skills can help you think about what you are reading. They can also help you make connections between what you are reading and things you already know. Let's look at 4 reading comprehension skills. First step is to ask questions. After you read something, ask some questions about what you just read. That's what we did in the exercise with our sentence about the happy dog. Start asking yourself some simple questions like, where is the story taking place? Who is the main character in the story? Are there any problems that this character has? Second, look for details in the story that answer your questions. You may have to reread some of the story to do this. Third, look for clues in the story that support your answers. That means look for sentences or phrases that help you prove that your answer is correct. Fourth, review your findings. That means go back and check your answers. Does what you wrote down make sense? If so, great. If not, hey, no problem. Just try again. Now that you know some reading comprehension skills, let's try using them in a reading comprehension exercise. Reading comprehension exercises can help you test those skills out. Let's read this summary of the story Jack and the Beanstalk. Jack is a poor boy who lives with his mom on a farm in a small village. She tells Jack to sell their only cow for food. Instead, Jack trades the cow for magic beans. Jack's mom is very angry and says that the beans are not magic. But Jack plants the beans anyway. The next day, a huge beanstalk has grown in Jack's yard. Jack climbs the tall beanstalk. Up and up he goes until he discovers a huge castle at the top, sitting on a cloud. Jack enters the castle and finds a giant sleeping inside. He also finds a goose that lays golden eggs. Jack takes the goose. The giant wakes up and chases Jack. He tells Jack that he's going to eat him. He chases Jack down the beanstalk. But Jack cuts the beanstalk down and the giant falls. Jack and his mom are no longer poor because the goose now lays golden eggs for them. Are you ready to use those skills we talked about? Grab a pencil and a piece of paper and let's get started. First, let's make a list of questions. Let's use the questions we listed in step 1. Where is the story taking place? Who is the main character in the story? Are there any problems that the main character has? Now, let's look for details in the story that help us answer those questions. Where is the story taking place? Another word for that is the setting of the story. Can you find anything in the story that helps know where the story is taking place? Let's look again at the very first line of the story. Jack is a poor boy who lives with his mom on a farm in a small village. So, where does Jack live? The answer is on a farm in a small village. That's where the story takes place, or it is the setting of the story. Who is the main character in the story? Read the first line again. It says, Jack is a poor boy who lives with his mom. Did you say that Jack is the main character? Or did you wonder if it was his mom, or the giant, or maybe all three? If you weren't sure, that's fine. Later, we will look for clues to help us know who the main character is in the story. But for now, you can keep one name, both names, or all three names on your paper, if that's what you wrote down. We'll come back to that question. It's always okay to come back to a question if you aren't sure of the answer. Now, for the last question, are there any problems that the main character has? This is kind of a tricky question because there are actually several problems that Jack has. In the first line of the story, we read that Jack is poor and that they have to sell their only cow. That's a problem, right? Later, we find out that Jack's mom is very angry that he traded the cow for some magic beans. Has your mom ever gotten angry at you? If so, then you might agree that that's also a problem. Later, the giant chases Jack. That's definitely a problem. Now that we have answers to the questions, let's look for clues that support those answers. Who is the main character of the story? Maybe you aren't quite sure if Jack is the main character, or if it's his mom, or even the giant. Well, looking for clues can help us know who it is. The title of the story is Jack and the Beanstalk. If Jack is in the title, then it's probably a good clue that he is the main character. That clue can help you be more confident that Jack is the main character instead of his mom or the giant. You can look for clues to help you understand the other characters in the story as well. For example, what if you wanted to know if the giant is friendly or not friendly? You could look back at some details in the story to help you answer that question. If the giant is chasing Jack to eat him, that's a good clue that he isn't a friendly giant. Even though it might not be written that the giant is not friendly, his actions or how he treats Jack help us understand that he isn't. Sometimes questions about what you've read are easy because the answers are clearly shown in a sentence. For example, in the sentence, the happy dog ran after the cat who was chasing the bird. The sentence tells you the dog is happy, it is running, and that the cat is chasing the bird. But sometimes a question requires a bit more digging, like asking if the giant was mean or kind. To find this answer, you had to use your reading comprehension skills and look for clues in the story about the giant's behavior. Now, let's review your findings. That simply means you look back at your questions and answers to see if they make sense. Reading comprehension skills can be really useful, and there are more than just the 4 we talked about, like making predictions about a story. A prediction is a guess about what you think might happen in a story. In the sentence about the happy dog, you might predict that the dog is going to chase the cat. You might make the prediction because you know in real life that dogs like to chase cats. And because you know that no one likes to get something stolen from them, you might predict that the giant in the story of Jack and the Beanstalk is not going to like that Jack stole his goose, and he's probably going to come after him. Another useful reading comprehension skill is called cause and effect. If a cat teases a dog, the dog might chase the cat. The cat teasing the dog is the cause, and the dog chasing the cat is the effect. Or, if a brother hugs his little sister, the little sister might hug him back. Jack stealing the goose is the cause, and the effect is the giant running after him. You can use cause and effect to help you make predictions about what will happen next. It also helps you understand why a character reacts the way they do, like understanding why Jack stole the goose, but also why the giant was mad about it. Reading comprehension skills can help you identify the main idea and details of a story. They can also help you understand what an author wants you to learn from that story. They can help you figure out what genre a story fits into, like a fairy tale, mystery, or fantasy, as well as let you know if a story is a fiction or nonfiction. Reading comprehension is not simply reading the words in a sentence. It involves using skills to help you understand the meaning of what you're reading. If you keep practicing those skills, you will get better and better at understanding or comprehending what you're reading. And that's what you just did!
Hope you had fun learning with us. Visit us at learnbright.org for thousands of free resources and turnkey solutions for teachers and homeschoolers.